land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize, Creole and Garifuna.
This morning we want to go into the book of Micah, and I'll tell you, Micah and Isaiah were contemporaries. Micah was teaching the poor, while Isaiah was teaching the rich or prophesying to the rich. They live around the same time. As I said, they're contemporaries. Their messages are the same. This is one of my favorite passages of scripture, and I've done devotion on this several times. This has to do with when the affluent people, the people of power at the time, were taking advantage of the less fortunate. It's best you get what God bless you with. And whatever God bless you with, you know it's given to you perpetually. And that's what people are supposed to aspire to do. It did not say by the sweat of it did not say by the stealing of thy hands thou shalt eat bread. It said by the sweat of thy brow you are to work. And it's worse when people in authority take advantage of the poor. And that's what we're going to look at here this morning in Micah chapter 2, from verse 1 to verse 5. It says, the oppressors judge. The oppressors judge. We see it all around us in our own country, in the countries around us. That's what the good USA is doing right now. They're putting their hands on what doesn't belong to them. And economic-wise, is because they are running out of resources. So they're going to start to take people's stuff. Be it by it's not right, but they're going to use might if they must. And it's only to prolong the inevitable. And it says here from verse 1, it says, woe to those who dream up wicked and prepare evil plans on their beds. Woe. That's a word when you see it in the scriptures. Your ears must go up. It's talking about a severe warning for something that's coming. And it says, woe to those who dream up wicked and prepare evil plans on their beds. Some people who are in authority, they will lie down in their beds, and they have a very wicked and evil plan that they want to do the next day. They can't wait for morning light to come to put their wicked plans into place. That is a very serious thing. I find myself, because I work with contractors, also as administrator works, and I remember the CEO telling me that people were coming there and begging him not to put me to oversee their job. But then he, on the other side, tells me when he wants value for money, he sends me. But that has caused me a lot of problem perpetually, because people start pointing fingers at me, and they're saying that I am this overbearing, unfair engineer, because they feel as if though what government has should just be a purse for the taking, and everybody does it, so they can't understand why I don't do it. I'm saying, no. I understand the consequence that I'm reading here. I understand clearly what's going to happen, and I don't want to jeopardize my children's future. You see, in a moment it may feel sweet when it starts coming together. But what about when the reality come back? Because this is what it's talking about here. When God judges those people who do those things, because God will judge people who do things like that. And it says, at morning light, they accomplish it because the power is in their hands. It says, they covered fields, see? They covered fields and seized them. Remember Jezebel's husband, the king? He saw this man's vineyard and he wanted it. And he approached the man, and the man said, I won't sell this. This is my inheritance. That should have stopped him. He goes home and he has a long face. His wife sees it. What's wrong with you? He explains. So you are the king. This is what you should do. He did that. He lied on that man and had him killed, and then eventually ended up with his vineyard. How could that not? How could that go unpunished by God? And there are many people today who are alive who are in that category, who have taken away. They have not taken anybody's vineyard, but they've taken away people's inheritance or what opportunity they have. It says, they also take houses. They deprive a man of his home, a person of his inheritance. In other words, the wealthy, because here they're talking about the wealthy have seen what the poor has. They want it. What do? They forcefully or they scheme to get it. And that's bad. And God is seeing it, and God is saying to us here, I see this. And that's why I say, no, therefore. Remember now, therefore comes as a consequence of what we were talking about before, all we were talking about before. Now God is going to make a decision. He's going to judge these people as a consequence of what they have done. It says, therefore the Lord says, I am now planning a disaster against this nation. So because it is rampant, a lot of people are doing it. So God is saying now, you who are in power, this is what you are doing, this is what I'm going to do to all of you. You cannot free your neck from it. He's talking about that device they put around the necks of the bullocks. So your neck is in that, and based on what you have done, you can't take your neck backward. In other words, you can't walk away. You can't ease out of what is coming your way. You will have to face it. You will have to face what's coming your way, right? So you cannot free your neck from it. Then you will not walk so proudly because it will be an evil time. It's never going to end up in your hands. As this come to a conclusion, it's also going to tell them that, and when it is retaken and redistributed, your family is not going to get their portion. Is it worth the while? I say no. Your family is not going to get their portion. Is it worthwhile? No. And I keep on telling people, if it's an egg you take, you have to pay back for it. It doesn't make sense. It continues and it says, how he removed it from me. He allots our field to traitors. Therefore, there will be no one in the assembly of the Lord to divide the land by casting lots. You won't get. You won't get when it's taken back and redistributed because it was never yours.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace.
You are my inspiration, seeing you happy and how quickly you grow. You are so tiny yet so smart. You have the most sacred place in my heart. I know you thought I was strong. If only you knew my strength came from you. All I think... Sir, don't you think you're a little bit too big for this story time?
Excuse me? What about all this discrimination? As far as I'm concerned, I identify as a 4-year-old. Besides, I hear these children's book have pictures, and everybody like pictures, right? Read away, please.
I do all I think you need and ask. I pay attention with love and care. I love her most even when I think you're not there.
My name is Madeline Tucker, and I am the author of My Inspiration. And you can purchase this at any of the Angeles Press locations and also on Amazon.
There have been a lot of questions about what the proposed broadcasting bill could mean for online content creators. So, here are answers to some of the most frequently asked questions. You create content online. You post videos, go live, work with brands, and maybe even get paid for advertising or sponsorships. But does getting paid for your content mean you now need a broadcasting license? The short answer is not automatically. There are specific requirements that determine whether you're considered a national online broadcaster under the proposed law. First, do you fall under the definition? You may be considered a national online broadcaster if all of these apply. 1. You control the broadcast. 2. You broadcast exclusively online. 3. Your broadcasts are mainly directed to Belize. And 4. Your advertising or sponsorship revenue comes predominantly from Belizean citizens. If all 4 apply, you may fall within the National Online Broadcaster category. So, if all 4 apply to me, does that mean I need a license? Not necessarily. If you fall within the category, the proposed framework provides for exemptions where the regulations allow. So, you may still qualify for an exemption. What determines an exemption? When developing exemption rules, the BBA will consider how much you earn or benefit, including revenue or other business benefits from your broadcasts. They will also consider how often you broadcast, including how frequently and how many broadcasts you make. Another factor is how big your audience is, based on your average or highest audience size. And they'll consider who can watch, including whether your broadcasts are open to the public in Belize or limited to a particular group. Other relevant public interest factors may also be considered. So here's the bottom line. Getting paid to create content does not automatically mean you need a license.
Blessed Gardens is servicing home gardens across the country from the nation's capital and helping Belizeans reconnect with nature. We have everything you need for your home garden, so get growing. We have various types of soils: fortified soil, composted soil, potting soil, and pure compost for your garden. We have quality seeds and over 65 varieties of food seedlings for your garden. We even have organic insecticides available, EM soil treatment, and Polyshade for your excessive sun or rain. Blessed Gardens has all your garden solution in one location. Call 610-5679. Visit us at the Bumapan Market Plaza or enjoy our free deliveries across the country. Blessed Gardens. Get growing, Belize.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place we ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize.
Morning, Belize. Welcome to Friday morning edition of Rise and Shine. I am Santi Valencia sitting in this morning here. And of course, we will not have guests this morning, but we have a lot of stuff to discuss. There's so much stuff that we need to look at in our country and what's happening in our neighborhoods. And right now, of course, we have the celebration coming on. We're the 28th of August. So August is done. We're looking at when September come, Christmas right around the corner. I mean, the year just gone. You wonder where time goes anymore. I thought about, not very long ago, I was still a young man, and I turn around and boy, I had a grandpa and great grandpa. No, it's like, how you get there? It's reality, it's life. We're not going to turn rock stone like somebody says, right? And so we want to, sit here and address issues and talk about things that affects us, our daily lives, and how we could maybe, fix some of the things or what we need to do individually or corporately, and how we could be a better Belize and build this jewel properly. All of us, it's everybody's business. And so we take these time to sit here and see how we could talk about these things, and hopefully we could get some partnership work together, work to build this nation on every sector. Because normally we're dubbed the men of the cloth, or pastors, or I don't like use spiritual leaders, because spiritual leaders, you even have witchcraft in the mix of things, right? We would tend to more lean into the Judeo-Christian believers, and it doesn't mean that we are somewhere in another planet. No, we live right here in Belize. We live right here in the earth. We are human beings. I mean, I can't say just like everybody else, because not necessarily. In a certain way, yes. However, no, our values and our principles in life is not just building everything here in the earth, because it will not stay here forever. Like we're saying in Creole, none of we can turn rock stone. We're there for a while, and we will move on. If you study the statistics, it shows and proven, history shows it. They live and they die. You could live, if we're reading the Bible, some live up to 900, almost 1,000 years, 960 something years, and they still die. It doesn't matter. We will pass. Nothing will last forever here in whatever we do and whoever we are in this earth. It's important that we are very conscious of who we are, what are we doing here in this earth, and what's our purpose. Find those purpose and serve them. And we're called to different giftings in life. Nobody than one thing. You know, and when we talk Bible, we talk about, it says that even if you look at a car, if you look at anything, it has so many different parts that makes up what it is. Your telephone has so many different parts, right? Everything you touch has so many different parts, and every one of them are very important. When they're put together, assembled together, and work together to assist each other, to enhance the other. Not because I am better than you, so to speak. No, it's important that we understand this, and as we build our nation, we all play a role, or should play a role. It's important. And so this morning, to discuss this Friday morning edition of Rise and Shine, I have my good buddy here that I love to sit, because a man of principles and values, and just love what he does in life, and it's amazing. And sometimes I wonder, why we do what we do, Pastor Scott? Always a pleasure, bro.
Happy to be with you, Santi. Happy to be together with you, Belize. And Santi, it is wonderful. It has been, it is, and it still will be wonderful doing life together with you. You know, your family and our family, we've been tight together, and
cry together.
Yes,
pray together.
We've been through hell together. Right? We've survived. We've come through. We've come out stronger.
Get into our own conflicts and differences,
yes, but we work it through. And I just want to encourage everybody. I've shared this before. Life doesn't make sense without strong, high quality friendships and relationships. And you know, and you can't have that with everybody and their uncle, right? It's normally a smaller number, but anyways, thanks, man.
It's a blessing, bro.
And like
I mutual here, bro.
You know, we're not ending anything. We're not going anywhere, right? But
we're in this thing together for the long haul, man.
And by the grace of God, I hope and pray. It's my goal. I think yours also, that the nation of Belize would be the better because of these relationships. Right. And then the end product, including Pastor Wade, you know, as well. And so we're all part of a team. Pastor David Shaw, and so
many others, right?
Trying our best to bring truth, to speak into things that are maybe not so true, or be able to help people to see with a different perspective. And but you know, at our bedrock foundation, Santi, we believe that God's truth, the Word of God, and the principles that teaches, they're going to outlast everything else.
Absolutely.
And if we're wise, we will sink our teeth and our lives, invest heavily into those things, because that's what's going to remain. And so anyways, we just want to encourage you all. We're going to talk about some of the issues that are facing us as a nation. I think one of the biggies, Santi, that everybody to talk about is electricity.
Why, I'm telling you, that's a big deal, because we visited, there's a attraction that Belizean, man, I wish more Belizean would go, because we talked the other day about social life, right? How do we socialize in Belize as a nation? And let's be realistic. I'm talking about on every level. How do we socialize? Now, as the church, we try with everything to create alternative. How we do socializing.
Well, church is socializing.
Yes.
You
in
bring
itself,
people together.
In itself, it is.
You put people in small groups.
Exactly.
And okay, we're going to go around.
Life.
We're going to go around a circle. How are you doing? What's been your biggest challenge lately? Right. And so and everybody goes around a circle, and we have fellowship. We're socializing. Right? Yes. And nobody gets shot.
Exactly. And we have fun. And young people, because we talk about this for years. We've been talking about this. That the bulk of our nation population under the age of 35. Man, look here. What do you do for fun? Like, after you get through singing your hallelujahs, because this is, we do this. We go to church, we worship God. That's not a strange thing. I mean, gosh, you see, the Muslims with the two largest bodies in the world would be the Christian and the Muslims. And you see when it comes the Becca, the Mecca Valley, they have the people that do the pilgrimage, that they journey, and you see the sea of white, where people go in dressed in white and they face down, and what are they doing? They're worshiping. Yet even in that, you find the same way they're killing, blowing up. But we got to not just go with a blanket statement that, that's all the Muslims. As soon as I hear Muslims that are terrorists and killers, no, that is not necessarily true at all. Like Christians, for that matter.
Right.
They could say, well, the United States of America or Great Britain or the West, they're Christian, but they're killing people and all this. No, that's not what it's all about. We're talking about from the heart, like Jesus says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. How could you go wrong when you do this? But when we talk about socializing in the church, after we come out of a church service, we engage. We play volleyball, we play league football, we play all different kinds of league sports events. We have our creative little different activities that we do, all kinds of different stuff we do for socializing outside of the church, so to speak. Yet we remain in the boundaries of church setting because you notice that we could have some of the greatest fun with zero alcohol involvement or drugs of any sort. No marijuana, no crack cocaine, no sniff cocaine, no meth, none of these kinds of things here. And we could have some of the great, no, we don't could have. This happens every single week. And I could talk about our area, but I'm sure across this country we have that. The form of socializing, how we do life. That's one of the things, Scott, that we need to look at. But I was saying that the Belizean way of socializing, get to know your country. We gone out, that is the dam. By the border way up by Benqueviejo. Boy, that road terrible. It's an 8 mile of, man, I'm telling you, the road really, I'm talking about with a capital bad, terrible road. However, if you could endure that, and you, of course, you have to go in at something more vehicle practical figure, right? When you get there, it's on the beautifulest sceneries. You go on I want to call the pontoon, or you could call it a catamaran. Beautiful. You drive, and the water body that you go in is the same dam that creates that. And so they give you a beautiful tour there. I mean, I had it, it's a full day thing. Wonderful, wonderful. I tell you, it makes the whole rough road and everything worth the while. Coming back now, of course, boy, I don't know when I'm going back again. But the truth is that I encourage you, you go and see. One of my concerns with that, Scott, and of course for our nation believes, because it's in my opinion, I believe we need to look at these things. There is a huge water body up there. In the event for any reason that dam were to break, and don't say it's impossible, it is not impossible. We recently had the Nepal saga that was catastrophic. As we speak, there is still missing bodies, and I think over 1,000 that is unaccounted for.
Some of the videos where you could see from the surveillance camera, right, that from far away the people look like ants. And people are running to get away, but you see.
It looks like AI, right?
You know, it's all covered, like all of those people.
Looks like
gone.
AI.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and so, but that was that came off of a glacier that cut loose up on the mountain, and the ice, but then also stone. It triggered an avalanche, and then from there, you know, that turned into water, and so Lord have mercy.
I was me and my good buddy Richard Smith. We went to Venezuela, where there was an avalanche like that as well, covered a city. And it's unbelievable. I was there and watching. We went with a special. Had a special permit to go in there. It was blocked out by the military, and so we had the Red Cross thing when we were with Operation Belize Mercy, and so we were able to go in there and do some work in there. Man, it's you watching these things with your eyes, and it's like this cannot be. It looks something like impossibility. No, man, this is some kind of drama. This is a movie or something, right? But it's a really serious issue. And this was just like 3 miles that the avalanche came in and covered the city. In this, what I was saying, no, Scott, is if our water dam up there were to break, and we're talking about the amount of water that the catamarans operate in, those are part of the dam that keeps that water flowing.
Right.
It's the guy said it's like 30 feet deep. I go, what? 30 feet? He says, yeah. If that thing is that deep, that amount of water there, and that thing and that dam were to break and come rushing down, I mean, I don't know if our government even gave that a thought. How do we warn people that live downstream, where that water will pass to reach?
Right.
How? What's the plan for what you call alert? What we use?
Yeah.
So let's say you give your phone going off, like, you know, you have the Amber Alert where your phone just boom and go off, or a tornado alert where if there's a tornado, your phone buzz and things like this.
Yeah.
What is the mechanism that we have as a nation or government? What is it that we have to say how much time you have to get out of here to get to higher land? And higher land, you mean you got to get up high because those water bodies are coming down.
Yeah.
And they bring down everything in the path as well with them. So like we watch with the one with Nepal, they're bringing bridges and they're bringing trees and part of houses and everything. And we tend to say, yeah, but that Nepal, that can't happen to we or will never happen to us. Listen, I think because of the position where our water bodies are, where those dams are, if for any reason things were to break loose there, what's the plan and how will we alert our people living downstream?
Yeah.
And you got San Ignacio, of course you got farther down past San Ignacio area, so, you know, Esperanza, all the way through coming down.
Oh, you live by the river.
I live by the river.
We live by the river.
Exactly.
Right.
How many more communities we have?
Well, Santi, where I grew up in Texas, they had what they used to call air raid sirens.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and it's like they're big horns, but it spins around to where it's doing 360 degrees, you know, and it goes for miles. You can hear it, but that was back in the day, right? But every Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, everybody knew air raid sirens were going to go, because every Friday was a test.
Wow, yeah.
Right, and just make sure everything's working properly. If it's not working properly, you got to service this thing or whatever. You don't want to wait until you have an emergency, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but yeah, I'm not sure if what contingency plan or emergency plan we have in those kind of situations, right? And you know, it's not an area, Santi, that we do really well in terms of preparation for those kind of things.
We normally wait till the house get out and then we go close the gates.
And then blame the previous administration. They
Yeah,
didn't do something about that.
That's right.
So anyways,
and
we're tired to hear that.
And while we're on that's you know, we of course, maybe I might say I'd give the good first. Because the truth is, it's beautiful. You go up on a little catamaran thing, that little pum thing, and then guys cook for you, know.
Yeah.
They serve your barbecue. You don't pay, of course, naturally. You have to pay for it, right? And look at we pay for big bashment. They drink up beer, they get drunk, and they do all kind of craziness, and then up they get killed, and they get up they fight, all kind of thing. Do something constructive, socializing, because it's a beautiful time when, and I think they care up to like 60 people per one of them. And you get on that thing and you go for like hours, like 3-4 hours, and you go up to the waterfalls and you're swimming at it. Boy, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
You go and swim, and they have 2 different or 3 different waterfalls that you go and you swim, and you have a nice time of eating there and fellowship and everything.
We have lots of fun stuff like that.
Exactly.
In Belize.
Exactly.
Right? For people to be able to enjoy. But most Belizeans haven't
They
haven't seen those. They haven't been there.
Yes,
right?
they either don't know, or they sometimes they think say, man, I can't afford to do it because it costs cost so much. You could afford it. Trust me, you could afford it because the amount of things you spend money upon, and a lot of it, like I said, that drinking, drunkenness, this all kind of craziness. Invest that money, get to know your country. We have a beautiful country, Scott. We have a really beautiful country. But most of we not even take the time to say, make we go and venture out and find, and get to know our country, leave it. Instead, we go, what are the maximum use for socializing in Belize? Alcohol, drugs. That's why we had the fight the other day. Well, not a fight, we just concerned. And we had to deal with the situation right here at Belmopan with the poster. But we're going on. In fact, some commentators say, well, then pastor have a problem with lust because then they watch there. Listen to me. This is one pastor me old. Me the old man. But I'm not stupid and I'm not blind. See, I even use glasses. And I use on good glasses. So I could see good. I know one day every single time they would drive and they watch. Boom, you think because what are the idea of having that? Not for make I see it? Tell me if they're not for make a look pan. It's right there. But you don't have to look pan, you could look the other way. But you the advertise. You the advertise.
Yeah.
Do I like it? It's disgusting.
Those things they're across the line, right?
Yeah.
But when we were dealing with the billboard issue in Belmopan, I had shared with some people, like, I have no problem. I don't drink Rude Boy. I don't drink beer. I don't drink alcohol, right? And so I'm no supporter of those kind of things. But if they were to put up a sign where you have people, at the beach or someplace, kicking ball, playing volleyball or whatever, and a pretty lady in a modest one-piece bathing suit, whatever, like it would get the picture across. Hopefully, at least maybe I should say from our viewpoint, it would get the picture across of what you're wanting to show, which is people having fun, having a good time, and you put your Rude Boy or your Bellican or whatever. Like I said, I am no promoter of those kind of things. I would do better without those things in our country at all, right? But my point is, you can do something tasteful and modest.
That's right.
Which is still attractive. You don't have to cross over the lines. But I find it's like these people just continue to push it. Well, we do this one and nobody rail up, so then we do one next one. We are going farther, right? Well, nobody no rail up, or we are take it farther, and then I take it farther until finally.
That's right.
That's part of the reason why we felt that we needed to say something, right? But but again, talking along the lines of socialization, or socializing, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the Rude Boy in there, and so, anyways, it was a big issue, but for us it had to do more so with what are we pushing out there. And then we saw the one from in Jamaica, where the lady had the bottle at her crotch with her legs spread, right? And it's like, all right, we know where this is going. It's clearly obvious. And so I want to say kudos to Rude Boy for taking down the sign.
Sure.
It was because of the agitation, but nobody forced them to take it down.
But as the people of Belmopan, how they feel about that?
That's the whole
thing.
Disrespect.
In my view, it's disrespectful to women.
And
I have a wife and I have daughters.
It's conditioning
and to children.
It teaches young boys, right? That's what women are for. And then it teaches young girls that if you want to be liked, you need to look like this, and you need to do this, you need to dress like this. And so
we're talking about the young boys. Remember, I think that a year or two ago, where they had this and it's a carnival parade for the September celebration, where this little boy the girl reverse behind the dancing at the carnival, and of course then dance with almost nothing, all practice. Yeah. And this little kid, probably what, 10, 12 years old, behind her, and we are laugh at things like this. This is not a joke.
It's shameful.
Right now, I think right now as we speak, I think there was a lady in prison and charged because having a sexual affair with a child, 15 years.
I believe it's called statutory rape.
Right? And so you see where these things are going. We don't want to feed an already damaged population. And of course, we all will agree. The deaths caused by drunken driving and all of these kinds of things is huge. But yet we continue to promote these things. And then somebody said, oh, Belmopan dead. So we want to liven Belmopan. Some of our leaders in Belmopan that cater to youths. And I know call no name, and I don't need to call no name, because we people, especially at Belmopan, we know who are the people, our leaders, they says, catering to the young men and young women. But guess what? You check them good. It's a conflict of interest in there, no? Because while they cater to the youths, then they get something out of it. And next thing you know, then they run for political office because they got the youth's attention and the youth want to have fun. So vote for me and we are giving no fun. We are make Belmopan alive. Along with that, there comes death, comes fighting and violence and all of these kinds of other things. So let's say we're Belmopan dead, but at least we have peace in our country. And then we have the celebration. Scott, last year, I was enjoying the celebrations. I am a patriotic Belizean. So I got to the march and stuff like this, the parades, right? And I was enjoying the parade and everything. And until the government float where the minister was walking behind that float, right in front of our leaders. And guess what you have? Some of the ladies, them, where they wear some very, very revealing shouting, and they wind up right, and the minister there, and they look right, they right there, so they follow that, the whole parade, they follow that with woman, they shake up, you backside in your face like that. Come on, man, is that what we have? We're honorable minister, we're honorable, we refer to, honorable, and you enjoy. Why we not just, you want the early parade, but just at least just leave it more modest. We could do that. Hard. I don't want to see your body as for what? Make we enjoy with celebration of our independence and what it really means to us as a nation and as a people. Because when you reveal alcohol and there's all their sexual move and all kind of things, what are you saying to us? Is that who we are? Right. That is what you're paid. The worst of the world, they look at us, this is who they are.
I think ultimately, Santi, it degrades society. It degrades values, right? And then, like I say, you have a child, there in carnival, doing, lewd things and stuff that I don't even want to repeat. But that's proof that this stuff is seeping down to the children. And what do you expect, right?
Of course.
But that's part of the reason why we speak up. And I wish that more people I wish that more people would speak up and take a stronger stand and position, for those kind of values, and particularly protecting our children.
Sure.
But, can we talk about electricity?
That's where we're talking about. You see how we gone on that, because when we talk about socializing and the dam, right? Because the dam thing, the dam thing, that was something good, right? That's where we get electricity from, Scott.
That's right.
And then remember, we were promised. We had some good promises from the dam.
Lot of promises. 2
of them were built, and we're supposed to have low electricity. But what happened? Where are we at right now? Yeah. How much we owe Mexico?
30 million. 20 million of that's overdue. And then I saw something on the news that I think in January we were at 55 million. So they've been able to knock it down by 25 million, but we're still 20 million overdue, right? And so we owe Mexico.
And as we
I was shocked to see, Santi. In fact, maybe go ahead and talk. I want to get to it. I want to get this picture, and I want us to put it up on the screen.
So we owe at least 20 million, 30 million. And
20
then now,
million overdue.
and then with the
10 million.
borrow another 77 million from one of the European, the Middle Eastern country, I think
Saudi
Arabia,
yeah.
right? How you call it? MBH, right? From MBH. So we right now, we owe Mexico a neighbor, 20-30 million. I know where to go and where they borrow extra, and we talk about US dollars, between 70 to 77 million more for do a solar. This is what we're on depend, solar system.
Yeah.
We made a study on stats recently about the Guatemala and how they get their energy. And this solar thing is supposed to be energy efficiency. Will it really be energy efficiency and energy more independent? Solar system? Because solar system that not last forever. Batteries within solar system then think cost a lot of money, and when you have to replace them batteries, we talk about lithium and replacing all of these kinds of things, but we have energy, more energy independence and efficiency. Well, we studied, we touched basically about Guatemala using the bagasse. We have something there. We have the Tower Hill. I mean, of course, our sugarcane production right now in a little trouble. However, that's part of ups and downs of it, right?
Yeah.
Where are we at right now?
All right, I want to show you. I just sent a picture over. We're going to put it up on the screen. We want to show you guys our breakdown not for Mexico, for electricity, but top of the list,
Mexico.
52% of our current is coming from Mexico. 25%, you could call it 26% from Hydro Belize. 16% from biomass. I'm not sure if there's more that we could do on biomass. Fossil fuel, that means diesel generators, right? Some of the places, that's what they're doing. When you get out to the islands and stuff like that, that's pretty much your only option. 6.5%. And then distributed generation, I'm not sure.
0.4%.
0.4.
So hardly,
So a very small percent, but
we're 400,000,
Yeah.
400,000 is our population.
Yeah.
And we can't supply 400,000. Belize is about the size of El Salvador. Hardly not much bigger if we are at all. There's another small nation, I think the nation of Israel. They're very small. By the way, it's the only nation that have a similar map position in like Belize, right? How these people generate electricity, energy? We have our neighbor, like we said, Guatemala, using their hydro and bagasse. But we had our politicians selling us a dream with the hydro dams that we would have our electricity lower and it will be better for us, for the Belizeans. And normally, it always comes to for the people. But yet, where is our benefits that we're saying, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so Santi, I was thinking about this over the last couple of days. Just wondering where does Guatemala get their electricity from?
Yeah.
And so
yeah, and there.
And so Guatemala generates electricity primarily from renewable sources with hydropower and biomass, sugarcane bagasse, supplying more than 25% of the country's electricity, and nearly 40% when including self-consumption. And then wind power contributes a small share. And so there's another picture that I'm not going to send, but it's a table. I didn't send it because it doesn't mention Guatemala, so I could be putting up something you wouldn't know that it's from Guatemala. But hydropower on the table, it says over 25%. So hydroelectric in Guatemala, and then biomass, the sugarcane bagasse, nearly 40%, and including self-consumption, which means that most likely that means that the sugar production plant is utilizing electricity from the bagasse, burning that and then creating energy, and then a small share with projects like Canales Wind Power adding 55 megawatts, and but for me personally, I like hydropower. I like the idea of water passing through a tunnel and turning a turbine, and nothing's being burned, right? And so, and I realize some of the environmentalists don't like, the dam and creating a lake and occupying land and all that. But and then we've got some issues right now where we're in I can't remember if it's El Nino or La Nina or whatever, right? But we're in
one of the Niños.
We're in one of those Nino things where I guess El Salvador, they're declaring a drought, also Panama. Yeah. And so those are our neighbors nearby. We're a little bit lower on the rain side for rainy season. And so but others are feeling it worse than us. Yeah. Possibly Mexico maybe as well, but Mexico with their electrical issues, they got their own problems. Sure. They're struggling to be able to supply their own people in Mexico, and as kids grow up, get married, have families, have jobs, have a house and warm temperatures, and everybody has AC. And then everybody's home at nighttime for the most part, and then that's when you want that AC on, and that's part of the reason why our blackouts happen at nighttime, right? But I'm saying that just to say Mexico has their own issues and their own struggles that they're going through. I guess the thing that bothers me the most, Santi, is that we have known about this for 15 years.
Sure.
We've known about this for at least 15 years.
At least more than 15 years.
And I don't think the people of Belize want to hear government ministers
pointing fingers.
Well, we're in the second term of this administration, pointing fingers at the previous.
That's a constant thing, though, right?
And so, and UDP was doing that towards PUP, and they had 3 terms. And it's like, by the time at the end of your first term, like, we want to see some action. Zip your lip, we want to see some action.
That's right.
And stop blaming the other guys, right? And so I think that the people of Belize are turned off when they hear that, especially if you're in a second term. Right? And so I would just urge, I think that kind of conversation needs to be avoided. But nevertheless, the PUC and BEL were aware of this, at least 15 years ago, and it was predictable. And no action was taken. I remember, because it was right here in the studio with Pastor Wade, we were having this conversation. What can we do to generate more electricity, right? And so people were coming up, and I think they might have even done a pitch out to the nation, trying to get ideas, and there was an award, for this and that and blah, 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 blah. And I remember a gentleman came in who had all the technical plans, pitching for utilizing cahoon nuts. To burn.
And we have a lot of cahoon.
We got a lot of cahoon nuts, and as that plan, actually before that plan came out, when the plan was submitted, and then all of a sudden the contract went from the government to one person who every cahoon nut from the Western Highway southward, every cahoon nut belonged to that one person, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like folks, do we see how this kind of greed and corruption in those kind of contract awards, you know, for over 30 years, and we've got some of them happening right now, and like it's really, really bad.
But our main thing, you know what, our main thing, Scott, that you look on a trend, right? They always the point on the next person. Oh, but you know, then guys do that, and then guys do that, and then,
like,
man, do we like that?
So my neighbor, you know, killed their spouse or whatever. So it's okay for me to. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Anyways, I wanna talk about this solar project with Saudi Arabia, because it was supposed to come on by end of 2026. That not happened, and so they're saying that
we are September already.
The procurement with the Saudis, they want you to use Saudi engineers, and so I guess whatever, maybe they're backed up with other things that they're doing, and so they're talking about what 2029, 2030 that will, and people are saying, well, what about the $77 million that they gave us? And no, I'm not sure if they actually. I don't think that they actually gave us, right?
But
it's
the
worth,
right?
It's the worth of that project, right? And but Santi, I have a problem, and I'll confess, I'm biased.
Well, I guess
biased, right? I guess we're all biased.
I guess we all have that, right?
But I'm biased, and I'm biased because my son was working in solar.
That's
in
right.
the United States.
That's right.
And then finally he stopped because he said, Dad, I feel like I'm selling a lie. We pitched this thing. Please forgive me. I've got friends that are in solar here in Belize, and I'm not trying to throw water on that fire or whatever. But you really, folks, you need to get your eyes open. All right. Sunshine is sustainable. It's renewable. Like it's there. It's free. Right?
Always there.
Lithium is not. Lithium is not. When the United States pulled out of Afghanistan, right, under Joe Biden, big fiasco, it turned into a horror mess. People were killed, and just the way that they went about it. Anyways, when they pulled out of Afghanistan, the following week, China was in Afghanistan talking with the new government.
Getting the rare earths.
The Taliban, the new government, the Taliban, right? And what does China want? Afghanistan has lithium.
That's right.
But there's only one problem, folks. It's deep below the earth.
Yeah. And
you can't drill it and suck it up because it's not a liquid. Okay? It's deep below the earth. And literally, and so when we're talking about carbon footprint, and so solar electricity has no carbon footprint. Like, look at what it takes to get to that place, right? So, anyways, do we need to take a break?
Yeah, we'll take a little break. We'll come back. Yeah,
and we'll come back because I want to share with you my son, who's extremely intelligent. He's an engineer, and it didn't take him very long with the calculator to sit down and calculate carbon footprint and all this kind of stuff, and he realized this thing's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. So anyways, we are going to take a break. We're going to give a few minutes for our sponsors, the ones that help keep Rise and Shine on the air, and so don't touch your remote. I think Wednesday you said the dial. I told Sandy afterwards, there's no dial on TV anymore, right? That's old school. Don't touch the remote. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know. Nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize. Be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize. land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace.
Today's topic is the stomach. The stomach plays a crucial role in digestion, breaking down the food we eat into smaller particles so our bodies can absorb nutrients. When we eat, the stomach produces digestive acid and enzymes that help dissolve food. This process transforms the food we eat into a substance called chyme, which moves into the small intestines where nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream. Eating healthy is essential because it provides the stomach with the right nutrients to function optimally. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grain, and lean protein ensures your stomach can digest food efficiently. This helps to reduce inflammation and maintain a healthy gut lining. This supports overall health by improving nutrient absorption, boosting energy, and strengthening the immune system. Eating well helps your stomach to stay in tip-top shape, which will benefit you your entire life. My name is Madeline Tucker, your medical scientist, here with your 60 Second of Health.
I'm a licensed electrician for 15 years. Safety is always an electrician #1 priority. I shop at Benny's. Benny's give me high quality, durable material. Cheaper doesn't mean safety. Cheaper means danger. When I think about safety, I think about Benny's. Remember, at Benny's, quality is saving.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and saving. See you at the store.
There have been a lot of questions about what the proposed broadcasting bill could mean for online content creators. So, here are answers to some of the most frequently asked questions. You create content online. You post videos, go live, work with brands, and maybe even get paid for advertising or sponsorships. But does getting paid for your content mean you now need a broadcasting license? The short answer is not automatically. There are specific requirements that determine whether you're considered a national online broadcaster under the proposed law. First, do you fall under the definition? You may be considered a national online broadcaster if all of these apply. 1. You control the broadcast. 2. You broadcast exclusively online. 3. Your broadcasts are mainly directed to Belize. And 4. Your advertising or sponsorship revenue comes predominantly from Belizean citizens. If all 4 apply, you may fall within the National Online Broadcaster category. So, if all 4 apply to me, does that mean I need a license? Not necessarily. If you fall within the category, the proposed framework provides for exemptions where the regulations allow. So, you may still qualify for an exemption. What determines an exemption? When developing exemption rules, the BBA will consider how much you earn or benefit, including revenue or other business benefits from your broadcasts. They will also consider how often you broadcast, including how frequently and how many broadcasts you make. Another factor is how big your audience is, based on your average or highest audience size. And they'll consider who can watch, including whether your broadcasts are open to the public in Belize or limited to a particular group. Other relevant public interest factors may also be considered. So here's the bottom line. Getting paid to create content does not automatically mean you need a license.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God, Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
It's been a while, you know, they have been asking, and finally this year, because it's been like 5 years now, you know, they have been saying, you know, we need help. Because they would have asked me, I don't have the knowledge and I won't try to tell them what I don't know. I could just tell them, my dad used to be a farmer, so I would just know so much. But we need someone that has the knowledge and have studied these things. So that's how we came up with getting an agronomist to assist these farmers. They have asked for it. And the government of Belize, along with BNBC, have assisted us with getting a personnel from the country of Cuba to come and assist us. The agronomist plays an important role, of course, right? Because, you know, we are using different chemicals for weed control, and if you do not do the right dosage at the right time with the right weather, I have learned that from this agronomist, that you cannot just say, get up today and say, or call and say, we need the drone today, we need to spray. Now, you know, the agronomist is trained to, or he studied these things, right? So we listen to him. His help has been, you know, very important to these farmers. The farmers, they have responded with his knowledge to them, helping them to you know, improve their quality, their techniques, you know, maybe what they were doing. With the help from him, it's a better way to do it. We try to be fair, and we also want all the farmers to be happy with, you know, the assistance we're giving them. Production won't increase like maybe this year. Gradually, you will see it increase more and more each year. So we will need him. We will need his assistance.
Welcome to the William David Fonseca Parking Facility, your modern solution for safe and convenient parking in downtown Belize City. With easy payment options such as prepaid cards or coins, parking downtown has never been easier. Enjoy affordable rates as low as 75 cents for 15 minutes, $1.50 for 30 minutes, and $3 for an hour. Open and available 24/7. Park smart. Park safe. Park at the William David Fonseca Parking Facility. Modern, secure, convenient. Your Belize City Council. Always about the people.
As a plumber for 25 years, I believe in quality, and that's why I shop for all my plumbing supplies at Benny's. Cheaper PVC pipes and fittings may save a little today, but leaks can cost much more tomorrow. And that's why I shop at Benny's, because quality is savings.
Quality is savings at Benny's. Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place me ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the Isles and Keys, land of the Barrier Reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the Isles and Keys, land of the Barrier Reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna, Mestizo and Maya, living in peace.
You are my inspiration, seeing you happy and how quickly you grow. You are so tiny yet so smart. You have the most sacred place in my heart. Know you?
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the Isles and Keys, land of the Barrier Reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine. This is our closing segment right here. We were discussing different issues, how we socialize and our alternative for socializing in Belize, and how we could be more creative. And I think it's important that we look at that. How we could be more creative in how we socialize, or what we call, because constantly I find the media always were saying, while socializing, and they were shot and they were stabbed and they were beat up and they ended up crashing and dying and in hospital and all kind of thing. How about finding out what kind of socializing we were doing? And then, we were talking about how we could deal with our energy situation, because it's a real thing. Of course, we know the other day, at least twice, the power gone out across this nation, and our people, we're still pointing finger, and I guess that's one of these deals, that the way Adam said to God when he says, "What have you done?" He says, "That the woman you gave me," take blame, right? So we have to look at how we could be more responsible. I don't want to hear no more pointing finger that because of them or because of them. No, we here way too long, man. I think we kind of a little bit fed up with that. In my opinion, Pastor Scott, if we are here, that the next administration or that, what I want to hear more when I refer to the next administration would be the assets recovery. We have recovered assets, whether it's equipments or whether it's money or whether it's lands or whatever it is. We have retrieved those, we got them back from that administration, or they have been charged for corruption and so forth. Then that, for me, I go, we to go someplace, because I think, we need to be held accountable for these wrongdoings, because, when we're mandated by the people of Belize to take what is the assets of this country and the people and use them for your own gains, I don't think that's too correct. Muzzle the ox or tread out the corn. I will say that. I have said that over and over. Muzzle the ox or tread out the corn. But make the ox eat the whole corn veal either. Make the ox eat, and then of course, like we said, continually, or people, they get enough salaries. They get a lot of what you call it. They get new vehicles, and they get everything, allowances.
Yep.
So we could do better, right? I think.
And Santi, Belize, we are a blessed country.
Sure.
Right? And I know that things are hard. I mean, my wife and I feel it also, you know, fuel, which I have a big point on fuel. The amount of a gallon of fuel that is taxed. And I think Sante, it was when the Ukraine war started and the price of fuel went up really high.
Yeah.
It got up to like $12. First time we'd ever seen that before in the
man,
history of Belize.
$14, $15.
Maybe so.
Yes, man.
Maybe so.
Yes. Got way up. Yeah, blow. It was unprecedented.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then when that settled down, it dropped down to $9, and it's like we hadn't seen $9 in a long time, right? And then immediately, Prime Minister put one new tax on fuel and pushed it back up to 11 or 12, because we done show that we could pay 15, right? And so they put one new tax on and kicked that price of fuel up. And to this day, that additional tax. Now, there was already tax on fuel. We've always had a heavy tax on fuel. Right. That's why our fuel prices have always been so high.
And then the Iran war.
There was an additional one that was put on top. And to this day, Santi, that tax has never been removed.
No. When they go up,
it was supposed to be, because the government absorbed, you know, they absorbed the fuel costs and they didn't raise prices or whatever. So it was to pay back that absorption. Yeah. This was during the UDP. I believe it was in their third term, and that's when the Ukraine thing happened. And since then, that additional tax that was put on
Ukraine
top
of
the existing tax.
Ukraine was a PUP, wasn't it?
Then it was something else before. But it was. I know it was Dean Barrow that put that additional tax. I remember the price dropping down to like 9 change, right? And we, like I said, we hadn't seen that for the longest. And then all of a sudden, boom! It pushed up to 11 change, 12, and it's like, oh, on a done show you could handle that. All right, well, we're going to take more tax off of that.
Belize drive.
Yes, and so and then what happens is a tax side economy. When you just continue to put taxes, and now they're talking about more taxes, you know, for on hotel thing, and more taxes, and you start to stifle and you start to kill the economy, right? And but anyways, I'm sharing that just to say that those kind of things that take place, it's making it harder in Belize. But talking about electricity. And
energy,
and people's electricity bills, right? Like I said, I know. I mean, fuel makes everything go up, right? There's no question about that. And I fully agree with Prime Minister. Like the acquisition cost, that's what determines that price. But we still got that second kick-up tax that was put on and has never been taken off. And so there is some things that we could do, but then what they say is, oh, well, that means there's going to be less revenue for the government, right? And so, but what Prime Minister Briceño used to say when they were the opposition, he used to last Dean Barrow say, grow the economy, just grow the economy, grow the economy, right? Just grow the economy. Grow the economy. And anyways, I'm not.
They're normally some of the best economists and everything is when they're opposition.
Yes, but then the more we continue to lash taxes, it stifles the economy, right? That's what I'm trying to get across, right? But so I know it's hard, and I'm not trying to minimize that. All right, but I believe there's some other problems with this electrical bill thing, right? Yeah. And so the digital meters are more sensitive, so some of that's coming from there. You know, there's some different strategies that you can implement. But big number one, a lot of people don't realize this, Santi. When you have electricity hooked up to your house, there's 3 wires. There's that cable that's coming to your house, and it's 3 wires. 2 of them are black, and one of them is silver.
Aluminum.
The aluminum, it's silver, right? And so the 2 black ones are your 120 volts. Those are your hot lines. And so every house is hooked up with 240 volts.
Yeah.
You have two 120 volt lines. And so my bill went really, really high. This was a couple of years back, and it was my fault, right? And because when I actually sat down and checked out, all right, because you got your breaker panel, you got breakers on this side and breakers on this side. This side comes off of one hot line, and this side comes off of the other hot line, right? And what happened was I had refrigerator, washing machine, 2 freezers, everything was all
on one line.
On one line, on one side. And so what happens, your meter will spin, it measures the fastest line. You got the 2 lines coming in. If you got everything over to one line and you got nothing on this side, like you're paying twice for electricity of what you're actually using, because everything else is on this one line, and the meter measures whichever is the fastest line. So what you have to do is you have to balance that out. So what I had to do is I ran a different plug from the other side to where I could get the freezers off of the other side, and immediately my light bill went down. So I think that's a very important thing. When it's a sudden jump up, though, you've always paid this amount, and then all of a sudden there's a sudden jump up. It could be off of your electricity, but I would say most likely it's because this whole thing that they don't actually read the meter. Yeah. Right? And so
just assume on the
somebody told me, they said, Pastor Scott, I got light bill for 4 months in a row, $93. Next month, $93. Next month, like 4 months, the same exact amount. Right? And then all of a sudden, a big bill come through. So what happens is somebody is not coming and actually reading the meter, right? And they're just making an estimate. Now, if they were smart, they would make the estimate higher to where instead of getting surprised with the high bill, you get surprised with the low bill. Right? And then you might need to say, well, why was these ones so high and this one so low? Well, because we estimated a little bit more on the high side, and then the one that's so low was your actual reading, but you had prepaid a little bit more, right? So I want to say, I think I'm not sure. I don't think that it's BEL. That maybe I personalize it. All right. I get my bill by email. Okay. Right? I don't get a paper bill. I get it by email. Which is good, because all I have to do is just type in BEL, or Belize Electricity Limited, me too, and I get all of those emails, and I can see from month to month to month to month, and I can compare and all of that. But on this last bill, they have at the end of your tabulation what they call the COPA. The cost of production assessment or whatever. Anyways, it's an added charge, and on mine, which my light bill is, I think, about 180, and you would love. You wish the light bill.
You make her feel depressed.
You wish the light bill for a while around that 180, right?
You make her feel depressed.
but at the end, it has the COPA, and for mine, the COPA is $5.25, and so this cost of production assessment, or whatever that COPA stands for, it's an additional charge. But like for me, at $180 per month, that COPA is $5. So I don't think that it's that. I don't think that they're jilting you with that. Right? I think you could be getting messed around. For me, years back, Santi, it got so bad, because this thing about getting a low bill, and you get one for 400, like, you crazy? I don't use that amount of electricity. And I argued with them back and forth. Finally, I said, you know what? Forget this. Light bill come, I throw it in the garbage can. I go read my meter, right? And I write it down in my phone, and I know exactly what I use, and I find one of those old bills in the garbage and, you know, calculate how many cents per kilowatt hour. All right, so we use this many kilowatt hours, and so calculate it, and I go pay for what I use. Right? And so if they know to read the meter and it goes high, it goes low, or well, it's all going to level out because I'm paying for exactly.
That's right.
And then with your app, with your BEL app on your phone, there's an option in there where you can read your own meter and send it to them, and then you can make sure that it's a little bit more accurate. So for those that have had some kind of crazy spike, you need to investigate. You gotta dig in and find out, right? But the best way, this is what I'm saying, and I saw this because I've been thinking about this, right? But they read the meter. It shows like the 15th of every month, right?
Right.
At least in our area. I'm not sure if it's everybody all the same everywhere, right? But in our area, they read the meter on the 15th of the month, and so that would be the time to go take a picture with your phone. What's the reading on your meter, right? And then that way you have a record. And then the next month on the 15th, so you have to set an alarm on your phone to help you remember. You have to remember it. But that's the best way to know exactly what you're using, right? And then, like I said, if you want, you can actually through your app send that to BEL if they're not reading your electricity.
Yeah, it's not all that complicated.
And I think BWS does the same thing. Sometimes they don't come and read the meter. When you're having problems with that, I would just say just read your meter yourself and pay for what you use, right?
Yep.
And look at one of your old bills. What's that?
You go to the app.
Yep.
And you could check it.
Yep.
So
you can see it, yes. But then also if it seems to be different from what you're showing that you use, right? Then you can be able to correct that. So people might get vexed with me when I say this. I know everybody to rail up about BEL right now, right? But when you look at the situation, knowing that we were $55 million owing to Mexico in January, and then now we're at 30, which is still bad. 55 is really, really, really bad. 30 is really bad, but that means we've knocked off 25, and so we got 20 million overdue, right? And so we got to get that taken care of somehow. And but I think BEL has done a reasonably good job. Now, like I said, I know people want to fight me on that.
But that's all right. Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's good. Yeah.
And so, is there room for improvement? Of course there is.
Yes.
All right. And so, and then I really don't like what we saw with the BTL Smart saga. Right. You know, Social Security Board, all appointed by government. You know, BTO Board, all appointed by government.
That's right.
You know, PUC Board, all appointed by government.
Right.
And then these people have their hands in the pot on this deal, and then they're going to make money off it. So I fully support what the unions are saying is that we've got to restructure these things to where it's more balanced and representative of the people rather than just the personal interest or interest of government. And I know exactly what government's going to say. Government's going to say, listen, you can't give these people the power to micromanage us. And we are the government. And it's like, I would quickly retort right back and say, we voted you in, and so please be careful. Please be. You work for the people. And there is a recall mechanism. And so please be careful. My mom would say, "Watch your mouth." Right. So please be careful. You know. And so yes, government is to set policy and all those different things. But if the people don't like what they're seeing with those policies, if you're smart, you will listen to the people who hired you. They hired you through their vote. And so I'm grateful that the Prime Minister, you know, and Cabinet backed down on that deal. I'm still wondering what that means. Everything I'm seeing signs. Okay, I think this might actually be a done deal. But you know, some of the players that are involved, you know, you wonder. It's kind of like, you know, it's like playing with a Tamagotchi. You never know. You get too close, they're gonna bite you right on the nose, right? So, anyways, I'm just saying this to say, I believe that I would love to see some change with the PUC. Yeah. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
And so
not government appointed. Come on, man, because it's a you know, no science rocket. It's controlled because the people at government appoint one normally be somebody where, and I say normally, somebody where have a right on government side. And if you always got appointed, or I don't know if always is the right word either, but if the people appointed by government feel that they are supposed to be loyal to the government because they have been appointed by whichever, either the prime minister or minister, then you can't get an accurate reading or readout on how it's supposed to be.
That's right.
So I agree. I mean, not everything the union said I agree with. However, I do believe we need to have these bodies where it's not government appointed and controlled, because we will have a better, more accurate, where the people will have what we call good governance and fairness. Yeah, I agree. And of course, like, you know, when the president said, what was it? A peaceful, constructive Belizean revolution, I still agree with that. We don't need to resort to violence. I believe we could resolve things by diplomacy, of course. We don't know Iran. We have understanding. We don't know Hamas. We have understanding. We could reason. We just would say, no chance, widow. Do it fair. Make it be fair.
Yeah. But it's not even really revolution as much as it is democracy.
Yeah. Right? Yes.
And some things need to change.
Good governance, Scott.
Good governance, yes. Yeah. And so, but anyways, I just wanted to give everybody some tips, right? And like I said, when I hear about solar plans, I'm just like going, I don't think so. Electric cars.
When they pay back millions and millions and millions for years and years.
Sunshine is renewable and sustainable. Lithium is not. And then in those cars, you know, the electric, we want everybody to drive electric cars. California, they passed the law, you know, by 2030, all cars must be electric, right? And then like 2 weeks after that, they had to do power blackouts in California because their grid can't handle even just the air conditioner, much less, you know. And then I told you on the break, I saw a report from what they call a macro engineer. Macro means big, right? Not micro.
Micro is
We're not
small,
talking about household.
big,
We're talking about the whole electrical
huge,
grid. I saw a report from a macro electric engineer. And what he was saying, in California, right now with the current grid, per suburban block of houses. So you're talking about, you know, one rectangular block with all of those houses, okay? Per block of suburbia where people live, one electric car per block. Anything more than that, and the grid is going to have to be upgraded. And you know, I hear them talking about all of this electric car stuff and electric bus stuff and all that kind of stuff, but like nobody's talking about who's going to pay for the upgrading of the electrical grid. Right. And then they're going to turn around and they're going to put it to the people, right? And so I like I said, I'm biased because of my extremely intelligent son, and he's given me the readout on this, and I fully trust his judgment, right? But
along with doing your own
my own thing, but all he did was confirm my own, you know, calculations and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying that to say, when we think about wind power, maybe on a household unit, I think that there's
windmill.
I think that there's some possibilities with that, but even so, I mean, you could get wind at nighttime.
Yeah. If
so
you're along the coast, maybe
solar, you're not going to get solar at nighttime. You got to have the batteries, right? But then to actually crank out a good amount of current on a windmill, to be able to do something in your house. So, anyways, all of that just to say, I kind of like the cahoon nut thing until every cahoon nut from Western Highway down to PG, it belongs to one person. It's got his name stamped on it. Like, are you kidding me? And so we got to do better than that.
Yeah.
But we do have some challenges. Let me explain my bias about BEL. I have a number of friends that work with BEL, and I feel very, very strongly every time the current goes off, my first instinct is to rail up. My second instinct is we need to pray for the BEL guys, because every time the current goes out, apart from these load-shedding blackouts, but the other night it was something that went down up by Orange Walk, and then that's what cut off the whole rest of the country, right? So every time the current goes off, those guys are out there busting their tail in the middle of the night. And, the big hydro lines, you're talking 110,000 volts. You want to climb up there and work on that line. That's what those guys do.
That's right.
The smaller lines, 22,000 volts, that's enough to fry you crispy. Those guys climb up there and work on those lines.
That's right.
Every time the current goes off, I pray for those guys, because I know a bunch of them, and they work like a horse, like a mule. Right? And so on the administrative side and the bigger picture, BEL's been functioning at a loss. And like I said, we got to do something. So anyways, hold it down some. Be patient. If your bill has gone crazy, if it's gone out of control, I would get a friend who's an electrician to come take a look at your house and your electrical, right? And sometimes you can have a wire that's shorting out, and
or
that
slack.
right there, or slack, and that right there is going to cause it to burn more, right? And so get it checked out. Do your investigation. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying just sit back and just continue to get a crazy high bill.
That's right.
Do your investigation. Get a friend who's an electrician. Come check out your house. Let them look at your electricity bill. Work with BEL if there's something out of whack, right? And so anyways.
There's something you could do.
There's something you can do. And I would say, by all means, read your own meter.
Sure.
If nothing else, just to keep track, right? Just to keep track. And so anyways, those are just some things that can help you. But we're in a pickle of a situation, Santi. We are in a pickle of a situation.
And we have to find a way out.
52% dependent upon Mexico. That's not good. I told somebody the other day, I think we're at around 30-something%. And find out that it's 52%. That's not good. So anyways, let's pray. Stay involved in the conversations, right? And so, but get an electrician to come check your house.
Let's work and pray and fight.
Work and pray. So anyways, that's my final shot.
I appreciate your final shot. I really do, because I was fixing to wrap up with that.
Oh, did I take your final shot?
No. You confirm my final shot.
All right, good.
Because when we're not by no means knocking down BEL. I want to say that my experience over the years, Scott, including when we have disaster, when we have hurricanes and the lines are down and out and everything, bro, BEL, I will say this, BEL is very efficient when it comes to the workers climbing the lines and getting our powers back in time and so forth. We have great guys working with BEL. These guys have proven over and over and over again. And I got to salute them indeed. Got to salute them. There was a guy said the other day on one of the media houses there, man. This government and the Prime Minister are not doing nothing for Belize. Nothing for Belize. With a certain attitude. And I go, who are you, a UDP? Are you who are you really? I couldn't figure out, That's not true. That's not true. We can't forget. Like I said, we know they look back, but however, we got to look at where we were at when we were borrowing $1 million a day. When our very own former prime minister said to the nation, whichever administration, whoever took over, the next administration, they want to have one poison chalice. We remember that? You remember that, Pastor Scott? Yeah. We'll inherit one poison chalice. And we were in bad shape. And the government, this current government, with the advice of some of the financial institutions encouraging to devalue our dollar, to fire a lot of people, workers, government workers, and so forth. And they said, no, they refused to do that. And they fought and brought us back on track. We can't forget that either, man. We can't forget that. We can't be so ungrateful. We got to be more grateful. And we have to give kudos where it's due. Now, listen, for me, area representative, I could boldly say, because of what I see, up till right today, the man have been working for our country, not just for we area, for we country. I see it in our area, but I see it also in the rest of the country, I believe, because I travel around and I see, and I could say, yes, we're doing good. Now, there are things that we cannot, no, because you do one good thing and two good, and then you think you could do all the rest of the crap. No. We salute the ones that stood up in the House, in the Senate, and says no, and I respect the people that did that and continue to do so. If it's not good for the Belizean people, be bold and be strong and be man enough and be leader enough to say it is wrong, I will not support it. And like Mike says, for me, leadership, my representative got my vote because you deserve the people of Belize, and I could say what you do. Make it be like this for all our way and work to build Belize. And we will see a better Belize. From all of us here, Rise and Shine and PlusTv, we want to thank you for tuning in, and let this concern be all of ours together, not just throwing the blame on government and everybody else. Let's take some responsibility. Do what we could do. Help out Belize in any and every way. The little bit counts. And let's continue building strong in Belize. We have a September celebration coming up. Be very extremely responsible together as Belize, how we will celebrate and be patriotic Belizeans. And you have a very blessed weekend. Take care of yourself. Your family needs you. We need you in this country. With a Belizean with a 400,000, we need each other. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day or the weekend.
Sante, bless you.
Bless you, bro.
Belize, have a good weekend.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize.